Well, hello again. I'm Evan Day, the Young Adult Librarian at Rogers Public Library, here for another Fandom Friday, where a member of the Rogers Public Library staff tells you something that they are a fan of. Well, I've been on a bit of a comic roll, haven't I? Let's face it, I just really enjoy a lot of the comics that we have here at the library, and I'm a fan of them. So today, I'm going to talk to you about Astro City by Kurt Busiek. Astro City is written by Kurt Busiek and drawn by Brent Anderson. Some wonderful cover art throughout the series is drawn by Alex Ross, and a lot of other people, of course, worked on the book. That's how comics are. I would describe Astro City as a more optimistic version of Watchmen. A lot of talk has been given to superheroes being in the real world, or superheroes being realistic, or superheroes dealing with real issues. However, very often these things are highly negative or cynical. Watchmen by Alan Moore is a good example of this. Evil versions of Superman, stuff like that. Astro City isn't all sunshine and rainbows by any stretch, but it's a very unique, different take. Its focus is on its superheroes and the people who live in this superhero-filled world, but not necessarily on the big climactic battles. It's about a Superman-like character called Samaritan who spends every hour of his day saving people, stopping natural disasters. In Busiek's world, the Samaritan came not from another planet, but from another time in the future. He wanted to stop the Challenger space shuttle from being destroyed because that led to other bad things happening. And because of that, he knows that any bad thing happening could have horrible repercussions in the future. And so he uses his incredible powers to basically spend every single moment of the day fighting, rescuing people, doing everything he can. But he never gets a moment to actually enjoy it for himself. There's a lot of stories like that. Just what would it be like to actually have these powers? Somebody who really sacrifices himself day by day to do the most he can, but never has really time for himself here. Another volume focuses on a character called the Confessor and Altar Boy. Yes, it's a priest and an altar boy who are costume heroes who are very much like Batman and Robin. There is, however, some significant differences, and part of the mystery in the Confessor and Altar Boy story is Altar Boy trying to find out what Confessor's actual dark secret is. What's interesting is that this story is told on the backdrop of a larger sort of what we might call a event story, where some sort of grand villainous plot is unfolding. And all these things play in the background to the smaller stories. Basically, imagine if like Avengers Endgame, if you remember those stories, or the very super stories in which a superhero has to fight a giant villain that's going to destroy the city, and we focus in on a family trying to escape for the entire story. It's all just background. Or you focus in on a hero that's only trying to help people evacuate. It's that sort of book. There are a whole bunch of sentimental and very heartstring-tugging stories, some surprising ones, some funny ones. Just a few that I find very interesting is a story, and I won't spoil too much because I think that would ruin things for you. There's a story about a man who knows that he was married, that he has this woman in his mind, but he's never met her. He knows everything about her, but he's never met her. Without spoiling too much, it's a story that explores what can sometimes happen to ordinary people if these crazy reality-altering events were real. Other stories include a hero trying to hang it up so he can spend more time with his family and passing on the mantle of his costume to another person. One focuses on an alien doing reconnaissance for an alien invasion and giving his opinions on humans, not necessarily all good. One is about a cartoon a character that was brought to life by a supervillain that became a hero, but then it becomes basically a story about a movie star that falls out of favor, that, time marches on, you're no longer the big star, and what are you going to do after that? Again, it's just a series. It uses the superhero backdrop to tell real human, for lack of a better term, stories. And that's why I think it's just a fascinating thing. Well, that's this week's Fandom Friday. Pick up Astro City at the library or wherever else you can find them. We'll see you next week with another Fandom Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.